Now, all of the military service branches have their own special operations teams to handle the high-risk security missions, and that includes the U.S. Coast Guard. Some of those teams come here to train. Coast Guard Petty Officer Adam Eggers joins me with their story.
That's right, Sergeant. Now, defending against terrorist attacks and other security threats is a critical mission, and we got to follow along with a very specialized Coast Guard unit as they train to handle those threats in ports and waterways, but not only in the U.S., anywhere U.S. assets need protection. The signal is execute, and this Coast Guard security team moves into action. They are members of a Maritime Safety and Security Team, or MSST, based at Kings Bay, Georgia. Today they're running a drill here at Naval Station Mayport on a training vessel. In this scenario, intruders have taken members of the ship's crew hostage. The team must quickly board, locate, and disable the threat and safely free any hostages.
Hey, you're down. You're down. Stay down. You got to get brother right in the crotch. Look at your weapon.
Roger, you have 1 Tango Kilo in the passageway on the way to the engine room. We have 1 Tango Kilo up here on that. For the bridge.
He's on 1, he's on 10, Roger. I will let you know when
Rhino, this is A Delta 1. Bridge and engine room are secured and our sweeps are complete. Have Hutchie when ready to copy.
This is the MSST's Maritime Law Enforcement Force Protection Unit. Now, this unit conducts high-end law enforcement and counterterrorism missions. But with those missions comes the need for more realistic and more intense training. So we're here at Naval Station Mayport, where the team's getting to run through a variety of scenarios to test their training.
These are the teams that get more advanced law enforcement training, both in insertion methods and then once on board in tactics. You know the old adage, you train like you fight. We want to make this situation as realistic as possible. We do have opposing forces that are on there, role players, essentially acting as bad guys.
Let's go start!
A series of different situations that essentially can give our team the opportunity to go through a decision-making process, utilize the correct level of force. At any point, we can break scenario to do any on-the-spot training, adjustment, correction to ensure the crew is operating in accordance with Commandant policy. Essentially, when we are protecting assets in and out of port, whatever situation calls for, we have a series of steps that we can go through, essentially escalating command and consequence to determine intent, ensure compliance, using the appropriate level of force necessary. One of the premier evolutions we do take part in is the escort of naval vessels, all forms of naval vessels, as well as submarines. We do that quite a bit with our waterside security detachment. Essentially, we enforce the naval vessel protective zone, 500-yard zone around these assets.
Whatever the mission, the teams from MSSTs operate as a quick response unit to meet the changing threat environment across the nation and in support of U.S. operations around the world.
Now, Petty Officer Eggers, I know the Coast Guard has a force structure of about 42,000 or so. How many units like this do you have?
Well, we've got 13 across the country that also encompasses Alaska and Hawaii, each with about 100 to 150 personnel.
Give me a realistic scenario you would send one of these units on.
The simplest one would be lots of cities have large passenger ferries, and say one of these passenger ferries would be taken over by terrorists. These teams can come in either by boat, helicopter, or both, get on board, get through the ship, and neutralize the threat.
Outstanding. Thank you very much for that report.